What's up, guys? My name is Aaron Henry. I'm a men's health coach and owner of True Guide Health Consulting. My goal is to help busy men improve their lives by helping them take control of their weight and their health. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please tap that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell icon for updates on more videos. I'm so excited because I have a very special guest here who's going to give us some practical and very effective tips to improve our health and our lives despite having a busy schedule. So without further ado, I'll introduce my good friend, Mr. David Renauldi. David, how you doing today? And thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Well, thank you for inviting me and having me on the show today. I'm doing very well, keeping very busy, but as usual, but doing good.
Okay. So one of the reasons why I asked David to be on the show is because he has a very interesting background. And as you know, men's health is a very up and down topic. As men, we're very busy. We face a lot of challenges. We have different careers, and sometimes we don't have time to work out, or we face challenges where our jobs don't allow us to eat healthy. So David has a military background. He's going to kind of break down how he's been able to maintain his good health and give us some tips on, give you some tips on what you can do to implement it in your life as well. So David, can you start off by just telling us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, your career path, and just introduce yourself?
As you know, my name is David Renauldi. I'm originally from the city of Chicago, where I've just transferred back to. And I'm very happy to do that, despite the fact that it's the dead of winter. Professionally, I have served, right now, let me start what I'm doing right now. I'm a diplomatic security special agent for the U.S. Department of State. The character that on TV that you might see more closely associated with me is The Rock. He played a character called Luke Hobbs, who was a DS agent who works totally by himself and conquers and saves the world, at least every other film. Anyway, he's a DS agent, and my job is not all like that. For the most part, we work in teams. We work independently from time to time, but most often we work in teams to fulfill a goal. And that goal can be things regarding overseas security, diplomacy, the fulfillment of international relations, that sort of thing. We protect diplomats, the American community overseas, and we're in charge of investigations in connection with the Constitution domestically. Prior to that, I also served as a police officer in the Oakland, San Francisco area of California. Before that, I served in the United States Navy, operations. And so my career so far has spanned almost 30 years, 29 years so far, between the military, being a police officer, and being a federal agent. So that's kept me kind of busy, but also those things have planted the seeds for my fitness today. Of course, doing what I do, you have to maintain a standard of operational fitness.
Of course.
I don't do that to the minimum standard. My job says you got to work out at least 3 days a week and maintain a certain level of readiness to go out and do your job and be in shape to make arrests and to fight terrorism and do the multitude of things that we do. The United States Navy is where it all kind of began for me. I was always reasonably fit, but never fit until I went to the military. The military started really showing me the benefit of a few things. Number one, endurance. The military taught me to take what you don't have and make that your strength. I was blessed with speed and power. I didn't have endurance. The military taught me to swim. And so I took that and I've stayed with that, and I've built everything else around being a good swimmer. So right now, when I show up to the gym, I swim nonstop between side stroke, breaststroke, and freestyle. I swim usually about 30, 35 minutes nonstop straight, roughly. Some days are better than others. So, but that's a minimum of 3 to 4 times a week. I also followed up with resistance training. And the resistance training is basically secondary to the swimming, because swimming builds every muscle in the body, works every muscle in the body at the same time. as well as giving you a great cardiovascular workout, and also doing a great job to keep your heart pumping and in rhythm. But the thing about it is low impact. So as much as I respect all these people I see stomping up and down on the cement on the streets, my knees are in slightly better shape than this. But there's nothing wrong with having a running regimen. I do also make sure to keep a running regimen in what I do. I make sure to run twice a week. I run twice a week for the simple reason I never can tell when I might have to, in my line of work, have to catch somebody or to haul ass and save my ass. So I make sure to run twice a week. I do series of sprints, and then another day on one day, and then on another day I just go into get on the treadmill or on the streets, and I'll just run 2-3 miles nonstop just to make sure that my body can do that should it need to do it.
Wow.
I've been kind of going on, so just
David, no, hey, wow, I mean, your career path from military, law enforcement, diplomatic services, that's impressive. And I can only imagine some of the experiences that you've had and the importance of being in shape. You know, you can't be average out there doing that and protecting dignitaries and doing those things that you do. Now, prior to the military, growing up in Chicago, which we all know can be a rough environment, and what was it that, well, how were you prior to the military? What was your physical conditioning like? Were you an athlete? Were you always physically fit? Or was that something that developed when you started your career path in the military?
I was not a student athlete because I worked my entire time through high school. So there was no time for working and being on teams, which is something I kind of regret at this point. I regret it later on. It went how it went. But I always had a strong interest in fitness and admired people who were physically fit. So after high school, I started dabbling in gyms throughout Chicago and seeing that, yeah, I could get bulked up pretty quickly just lifting weights. But I had in mind a bit more balance. Balance is the thing I've always strove for and still strive for every day. So I didn't want to just be like a guy who was who was muscle bound. Although the guys who are, have Mr. Olympia in their mind, there's nothing wrong with that at all either. I just had a little different vision for myself. And the military helped me start formulating that. Again, I can't speak enough about how much swimming has actually helped me maintain the body I have right now today. I'm 5'11", around 190 pounds. My waistline is like 29. I can always see my abs 24 hours a day. My body fat is roughly 10% or less. I think it's 10% now because I'm here in Chicago and eating everything that's inside. But
Chicago has some good, that deep dish meat does no joke.
Man, that Garrett's popcorn, DUN. So anyway, I think my body fat's up just a little bit more than what it would, through the transition and coming back home and everything. It's a little bit more than what it usually is, but I think it's somewhere around 10%. I'm still in pretty good shape. I'm still getting a lot of questions when I step in the gym, and when I have a beard on, they go, "Gosh, how old?"
And Dave, I was just about to get into that. Sorry to cut you off, because for the viewers out there, I mean, we see David on camera, but how old are you?
I'm 54.
54. Fellas, when I tell you this man is in shape, this man is in shape. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to interview him as well, because David, a lot of clients I speak to, and patients, and just men I speak to overall, were either athletes back in the day, or prior military or prior law enforcement. But after reaching a certain point, a lot of guys just hang it up and just give up on their fitness routine and just, sit on the couch, watch TV, or just become a victim of life and don't take care of themselves. So fitness is a big part of it. And you talked about running and swimming and so forth. Diet is huge. And that's something I wanted to ask with your regimen. How do you eat? How do you maintain that body fat percentage and that physique on a dietary platform?
Well, I really don't have, I don't buy any special meals or make any special purchases that you can't get at your grocery store. I really don't. I buy and consume pretty normal things, but I space them out. I tend not to, one of the things the military taught me by accident was not to have gigantic meals all at one time. At least I try not to, for the most part, unless it's the holidays or something like that. But what happens is the minute you have a meal that's a little bit too big, your body can only consume so much of anything before it turns the excess into fat. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. If you have enough lettuce, guess what? At some point you'll have had too much lettuce, and guess what? That will turn into the excess will turn into fat. So what I tend to do is I tend to space my meals out and make them smaller. I've heard of some people who are like, I think, professional type athletes having as many as 6 and 7 meals a day. I don't do that. I don't go that far. I tend to have around roughly 4 most days. The first one is usually right after or during the middle of my morning workout. And it's usually like a protein veggie type shake with a little bit of fruit. And then shortly after that, and that's around 8 o'clock. Then around 10:30, somewhere before 11, I'll have what's going to be considered like my second breakfast. That'll be my first solid meal of the day. That'll usually be something along the lines of egg whites with vegetables. I have something green with every meal. I'll have some kind of healthy carbohydrates, such as sweet potato to go along with that. I have some sort of protein to go along with that. Salmon, turkey, fish, something to keep my body fueled up, and to make sure that when I do lose, make sure that I'm consuming things that are healthy, but not things that are going to make me shrink in terms of muscle. The muscle is important, and so is having healthy fats in your diet as well.
Absolutely.
So the next meal will be somewhere in the ballpark of 1 o'clock or so. That's going to be a pretty normal meal of probably turkey, chicken. There's nothing wrong with red meats.
Lean proteins. You get your
lean proteins. Right. I just tend to stay away from red meats more these days. And my last meal of the day will usually be between 6 and 7:30. Depends on how busy my day is. But the thing I also do is I eat lighter as I go throughout the day. So my heaviest and most high calorie meal will be that very first one. So
when you're most active and you're going to burn those calories off.
I have the rest of the day to burn it off.
Right.
So if I'm going to have like anything sweet or high calorie, such as fruit, which can be as high calorie and caloric as a candy bar, I'll have that earlier in the day. If I'm going to have anything else with higher carbs, that'll be around that breakfast or lunch category. In the evening, it is lean protein and veggies and water and I rarely sway away from that.
So you cut those carbohydrates down at the end of the day.
Right, as I go along.
Earlier. Now, you said something there, and this is where I think a lot of people get tripped up with diets. They feel like, oh, I get on a diet, I'm just going to cut out, stop eating this. I will never treat myself. In my approach, you have to have balance. Whenever you're doing anything, the body needs, it's called homeostasis. Everything needs to be in balance, or else you're going to go to the extremes, which will lead to failure. So do you ever reward yourself sometimes? I mean, I know myself, I try to eat healthy as much as I can, but I like fried chicken too. I like a nice ribeye steak. I like pizza, and I feel like depriving myself from that, it's just going to cause resentment towards my diet and make me less likely to stick with it. So with you, is there anything that you do? Like, how do you reward yourself?
Well, strange as it may say, as this may sound, I actually treat myself almost every day, but in small amounts. I don't. Okay, so if anybody who's out of shape, that didn't happen overnight.
Right.
So getting back into shape is not going to happen overnight either. So to put yourself on some kind of starvation diet to where you're in total deprivation mode of everything that you consider to be an enjoyment, a fulfilling food, that's not really going to help you. As you pointed out, it's just going to make you a bit more agitated about, the goals you set for yourself in terms of fitness. So I have like a little bit of something almost every day. In my case, it's popcorn. I can't explain that, but it's like either cheese popcorn.
Is it caramel? Is it Chicago style popcorn? You guys do it big out there.
It is. I even have it imported when I'm overseas. So yes.
Oh my goodness, that's real.
My popcorn is my little decadent treat, and I have it on a regular basis almost every day. But see, the thing is, whenever I do go out to dinner, whenever I am over a friend's and they're having something, if there's cake or cookies or anything else that I normally wouldn't have. I might have a little bit of it, but I don't feel crazy. I don't have these super cravings because I've been denying myself forever and a day. No,
Exactly.
everything about it is consistent for me. For the most part, I get up in the morning, I work out first thing in the morning as often as I can, because a day can get away from you very, very quickly. And that's when you find that you have no time. When you put it off and say, well, I'm definitely going to try and work out during my lunch hour, but guess what? Suddenly that workout, that lunchtime workout turned into you working your way through lunch. Or you definitely planned on working out as soon as you left work, but then you got a phone call regarding your kids needing your sitter not making
Something
it,
will always
and your
happen.
kid, you're right, something happened to your day. Whereas if you start off that day with your workout, it's not walking around, it's not sitting up there on your mind, okay, I got to get it in later.
Exactly.
If you've already taken care of it, you've already given yourself the thing that you need in order to make progress with a personal goal for yourself. And once you've taken care of yourself mentally in that regard, it's easier to accommodate your colleagues, your family, your friends, to be more flexible with the things that just happen throughout the day. Once you've actually done that little seemingly selfish thing of made sure you've got yours, it's easier to actually give back to everybody else.
David, that's awesome. I mean, what you're saying resonates so much. Prior Navy man myself, and this goes into the next thing I wanted to talk about, is the importance of discipline. And the military, that's one of the biggest things that I got in my life. I still do some of the same things that I've learned in the military, from making my bed, just how you carry yourself. And having the proper mindset is so important for maintaining good health. And could you talk a little bit about how to improve that mental strength and why it's so important? Because everything starts with the mind. And if you don't have that mindset, it's going to be hard for you to achieve anything. What are your thoughts on that?
This is going to be the hardest part for me to actually try and expound upon or share and get the message across. But as you said, mindset is everything. Mm-hmm. Now, having said that out loud is not going to make anybody else understand how my mindset makes me do the things that I do. Gives me the wherewithal to make my workouts first as often as I possibly can. It's just, there's no such thing as not enough time in the day. You make the time. And in my case, as often as I can, I start out, I'm usually up by 5. I guess as you get older, that just happens, alarm clock or not. I'm usually on the way to the gym by before 6, usually before 8, even if I've stretched it out to an hour and a half workout, which to me, an hour and a half is a little bit too long. I'm usually out of there by roughly 7:30. I've got the rest of the day to do everything else, to work, pay bills, pay attention to colleagues, call a friend, call my son, call my daughter, to deal with the things that just sometimes happen in life. Oh, I've got a flat tire or a mechanical breakdown. That's usually not that quick of a thing to take care of. And neither is that thing that went wrong over on the other side of the world that suddenly you got to be in a meeting for that you weren't planned, that you didn't have planned in your day. So again, the mindset is you gotta, wow, I'm sorry. This is the one where I just really have a hard time, because how do you share, this is my mindset and you need to have it too?
Right. It's an individual thing. It's very specific.
Yes.
For the person and their circumstances. What I find is each person has to get to know themselves and know their barriers, know those buttons, those procrastinations that hinder them, whether it's coming home from work and grabbing your favorite snack and sitting on the couch for hours when you should put in that time in the gym, or just like what you were talking about, prioritizing, getting that workout done early. We all know what we need to do, but making that leap, that's something that each person needs to do on an intimate level and get to know their demons, and really look at them in the eyes as to, hey, I've got to confront this if I want to live healthy, if I want to be around for my family, if I want to see my grandchildren grow up.
Well, one of the things that, as I'm listening to you talk, regarding my mindset is I always have a plan when it comes to my fitness. And one of the things I've seen with some people that don't seem to make much progress. Because, if you're in the same gym often enough, you see some of the same people, and you can see the ones that are progressing and the ones who seem to show zero progress. The ones that show zero progress, they step into the gym and it's like they have no plan. They'll want to aimlessly from one piece of equipment to another piece of equipment to another piece of equipment, all unrelated exercises. And I'm not saying that there's not something to like the universal exercise approach, but you can tell these people have no plan. Every time I step in, first of all, I'll always have a plan for the week. I tend to plan to work out this upcoming week. It'll be Monday through Friday. It's just a fluke because my off day is going to be today. And then I'll be taking Saturday off, and then I'll be working out for those next 5 days. Well, nothing less than an earth-shattering, life-altering event is going to take me off of that plan. I will find myself in the gym or in the swimming pool or doing my runs or my resistance work, no matter what. That's all there is to it. And it will almost always be the first thing in the morning. But occasionally that's not going to happen. I might have to alter my day, but guess what? I still will get it in. When I step into the gym, I have an idea of what I'm going to be working. I know that when I step in the gym on Sunday, tomorrow, I'm going to start out with a swim. Then next thing is going to be chest. I know exactly which exercises I have in mind to work. And the only reason why I'm not going to work any of those is, say, for instance, all 3 of the incline benches are taken up. Well, guess what? I'll go do something else, and then I'll come back and do that. But bottom line is, occasionally the plan gets tweaked because of something like that, a broken piece of equipment is occupied. But it always got to have a plan. You have to have a willingness to stick to the plan unless something makes you alter it. And then the alteration should not be the end of the plan. It just means that you have to go about the plan a different way.
Absolutely. So pretty much what you're saying for the viewers out there, if you don't have a plan, for one, having a goal is important. Seeing where you want to be, how you want your physique, how you want your health. But it's more than just having a goal and having these aspirations. You have to have a plan, even if it means writing it down. And you're more likely to complete a goal or achieve a goal if you have that plan. That's so powerful. David, do you have any recommendations for men out there who don't know where to start? Maybe they've never exercised before, or they grew up in a home where they ate unhealthy and they don't know where to begin to change. They know they need to change, but they don't know where to start. Do you have any advice for these men?
Yes, I do. And I want to try and phrase this the right way. You have to be your own motivation and you have to be your own coach. Now, having said that, if you don't know, then you don't know. So there's nothing wrong with beginning when you're beginning or starting again or working through an injury or on the comeback trail to utilizing a trainer. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But at some point, the trainer becomes a crutch. If the only time you can get into the gym is when you have somebody else there who will change the weights for you, who's telling you can do it, and telling you what to eat, and telling you how to get better, then that person is a crutch. And the day that person can't make it, guess what? You can't work out. So at some point, if you're starting all over again, there's nothing wrong with using that trainer to start getting you back on track or to help you overcome an injury or to help you to the next level if you think you've plateaued out for a while. But at some point, you have to become your own motivation, your own coach, and start and know yourself and do your own research on what it's going to take to get your body where you need it to go.
You hit that on the head. And what I believe, it's personal accountability. No one is accountable for your health but you. You've got to take control of your health. And that's something that I'm very big on.
Once you start on the path, don't let anything take you from it. And there's plenty of things that can take you from it that are also worthwhile doing. Your family's worthwhile. So you need to spend time with them and on them. Your job is worthwhile. You need to spend time doing that and having a good relationship with colleagues. And things just come up. But the things that are also worthwhile and the things that come up cannot be your reason for not paying attention to yourself and Absolutely. Your fitness and your progress and your future, your health. You've got to be your own motivation, and that's not a selfish thing. You've got to be accountable for your health because you're the only you've got.
Man, David, wow, it's powerful. And I don't think a lot of people realize just how important our health is. It affects every aspect of your life. your family, your career, your chance to retire. Even if you do retire, your quality of life in retirement, so paying attention to our health is vital. David, thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it. I know you're busy, and I'm sure a lot of viewers are going to glean a lot of information from you and start implementing that in their lives as well. So thank you so much. For all the viewers out there, if you want more information on how to improve your weight and your health, please check out my website at www.trueguidehealth.com. Thanks for watching. Stay healthy.